Hello and welcome to my manga haul of June 2021. Yup, woohoo again. And this month I have 15 volumes plus 2 DVDs. Yep. I would have had 3 DVDs, but Fruits Basket's out of stock everywhere. Anyway, we'll start with the DVDs. First I have Anthem of the Heart, which is a film by Mari Okada. I usually like her work, so I decided to pick this one up, and I watched it yesterday. And I was enjoying it into the ending. And then I didn't like it anymore. So yeah. It's about this girl, and when she was a child she witnessed her father cheating on her mother, and she bragged about it, not realising what was going on, so her parents got a divorce, and after that her egg appeared and told her she was no longer allowed to talk, and took her words away, and now she can't talk without getting sick. So she's in high school now, and she's asked to be on this community committee where she has to put on a musical with these 3 other people, and obviously she can't talk and stuff, and yeah. It was a decent film, I just did not like the end. Yep. Next up, I have a series that I have not yet watched, and that is Kokoku, Moment by Moment, and the description for this is inside. This is a sci-fi series about this family who can stop time, and one day something happens and they come across someone else who can stop time, and her nephew is kidnapped. So now she has to work with her grandfather in order to rescue her nephew, and also find out who these other people who are able to stop time are. I haven't watched it yet, it came with a few art cards. This, I didn't realise this was actually dubbed, but apparently it is. Yeah, it also came with this poster. So yeah, I will be watching it at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. No, you haven't. Need to pick these up. I'll put them back in a minute. So now we can move on to the manga. Yep, we can. And first up, I have The Ancient Megaspide, Volume 14, the newest volume. I haven't read this one yet. I probably will soon. I love The Ancient Megaspide, and we're still in the second arc, which is the Alchemist School arc, and it's continuing on from there. And it's still very good. And I'll probably be reading this soon. There's Arias. Yep. Yeah, The Ancient Megaspide is very good. I pretty much all the new volumes. Next up, I have an isekai manga called Dungeon Toilet, and I bought this purely for the concept. It's only a 3-volume long series. I don't know whether I'm going to get the other 2 or not, because this was quite frankly a load of crap. But this is a isekai about this guy who gets transported to another world, and he is obsessed with shitting in toilets. So he's going around trying to find all the best toilets in this fantasy world and giving you all sorts of facts about the history of toilets and so on. It wasn't good. I bought it because of the concept, but it wasn't the best. I will be keeping this though, just cause. Yeah, if you're interested in it, give it a go, but it's not the best. I liked it. Next up, I have my favourite BL finally released a new volume, and that is Candy Color Paradox Volume 5. I love this series so much. It's fantastic. And Candy Color Paradox is about these 2 guys where they work for this magazine company where they get like scoops on celebrities and businesses and all of that. So we have One, who is like the reporter, and then Kaburagi, who's the photographer, and they're forced to work together, but they don't get on very well. And they put together to find there's some gossip about this celebrity who's possibly cheating, I think it was. And yeah, it's very good. I love Candy Core Paradox. Yep. Next up, I have another Tokyo Pop title, and I try to correct all of the BL titles by Tokyo Pop, although I don't think this one's actually classed as a BL. It's not under the same imprint as the rest of them. This is BL Fans Love My Brother. I'm currently halfway through reading this. And this is about a shut-in who draws BL comics, and he doesn't want to actually leave to go sell them because he's been shut up in his bedroom for 4 years drawing these doujins, so he asks his sister if she can pretend to be him and go to this convention and sell his doujins for him, so now everyone thinks she's him. And it's basically just the things they get up to in each chapter, like selling his comics, helping him with his pages, and she has to convince him to leave the house to go buy a drama CD at Anime Zone because she doesn't want to do it for him. Yeah, it's very good so far. I'm about halfway. I'll be finishing this later. Yeah, it's like it's a comedic series aimed at BL fans and their like fandom. It's very good from what I've read so far. Next up, I have another Tokyo Pop BL. This one is officially classed as a BL. It's got the Boys Love symbol on the back, whereas this one doesn't. This one says comedy. This is The Treasure of the King and the Cat. I haven't read this yet, but this is a fantasy about, there's a guy and there's cats. And there's the king who gets turned into a cat, and then he has to go with this thing as a wizard to try and uncover the truth of what's happened and stuff like that. I haven't read it yet, but I'm trying to correct all of the Tokyo Pop BLs, and this was one of them, so I picked this one up. I'll be getting a few more this month, or later on. I have actually ordered a bunch of BL off of eBay before they ban it, but that hasn't arrived yet. So this and Candy Core Paradox are actually the only ones I have this month so far. Yeah. Next up, I have Kaguya-sama Lover's War Volume 19, another favourite of mine. I haven't read this yet. I know, I shut off, it's a favourite, but I've been reading other things. Kaguya-sama Lover's War is fantastic. It's a comedy. It's very good. This volume, I think, focuses on Hayasaka, continuing on from the storyline of the previous volume. And I'm looking forward to reading it. Anyone who watches my videos should know what Kaguya-sama's about by now. I order it all the time. Yep. It's very good. I recommend the anime as well. Yes. Next up, we have the final volume of An Incurable Case of Love, Volume 7. This is the final volume, and it ends the series. An Incurable Case of Love is by Maki and Joji, the same author as Happy Marriage, which is my favourite series by her. This one's about a nurse who she became a nurse because she witnessed this guy save the life of an old man when she was younger, and then she decided to become a nurse in order to find him again because she fell in love with him at first sight, and then they meet again, and it turns out he's a dick and he's not interested in her at all, but then she starts to like grow on him, and it's good. I do prefer Happy Marriage, but this one's still good. It's only 7 volumes, and it's smutty. It's got the M rating. But yeah, this is good. And it's the final volume, so I've completed another series, which is very good. I love completing series. I really should finish some of the older ones I've been reading, but I just keep getting new ones, and I keep telling myself, stop buying new series until you finish some of the older ones. But that only lasts 5 minutes, because then I always buy more anyway. Such as this, which is a volume 1, which is Waiting for Spring, volume 1. I read this volume for free on Kindle Unlimited, and I really liked it, so I decided I wanted to pick up the series physically, so I went to try and do so, but like the first 5 volumes are like out of stock absolutely everywhere, so I had an absolute hard time picking them up, so I decided to, for now, pick the entire series up digitally, which I have. I've currently read 5.5 volumes digitally, and wait for it to come back into stock and then pick them up physically as I can. And then I happened to see this first volume on eBay. It's brand new. It was like slightly cheaper than retail price, so I thought I might as well get it. So I did, and here's Waiting for Spring volume 1. So I'll be picking volume 2 up when I see it available, but I'm in no hurry as I've already read it digitally. But once I get to volume 6 onward, it will be pretty easy to pick them up. So Waiting for Spring is a shoujo series about this girl who's like pretty shy, and she was picked on when she was young, and she's now in high school and she doesn't have any friends, but then she meets up with these 4 guys who are like the big stars of the basketball club, and she begins to befriend these 4 guys. Like him and these 4 here. 3 here, so yes, she's now got these 4 famous basketball players from the school as her friends, so she's going and watching the games and stuff. So it's like a shoujo sports series. Like there's some basketball games and stuff, and it's very good. I say digitally I'm halfway through volume 6, and I'm going to try and find the rest of these physically. I was just so glad to come across this volume that actually in stock somewhere. Next up, I have a Secret, which is a light novel by Yoru Sumino, which I really like his light novels. I've read all his other ones that are in English, and this is his newest one, so I just had to pick it up. I haven't read it yet. But if you don't know who Yoru Sumino is, he wrote I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. I had that same theme again, and at night I become a monster. So I am currently reading a book right now, but once I finish that, I'll probably be reading this next. I can only read one book at a time, or else I'll get confused as to what happened in what book. Yeah, I Have a Secret is about 5 high school students, all of which have a secret, and these secrets start to come out as they start like interacting with each other and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. And then I have Sounds at Work Code Black, Volume 7. I've also not read this one, but I'm pretty sure this is continuing on the storyline. I'm pretty sure the previous one wrapped up like the diabetes storyline. I'm pretty sure we're going with a new one in this volume. I can't quite remember, it's been a while. But Cells at Work Code Black is basically the darker Cells at Work, where Cells at Work's more light-hearted and fun. This one's definitely more dark and bleak, and shows you what happens inside of a body that's unhealthy, is alcoholic, smokes, and they switch from one body into a second body, and the second body's diabetic. So it's good. I actually prefer this one over the original. The original should actually be continuing soon, I think, because it was on hiatus, but I think it's continuing now. So yeah, Cells at Work Go Back, Volume 7. Next I have Something's Wrong with Us, Volume 6, and I have read this one, and it was very good. I love this series so much, it's so fantastic. Although I do have to say that the twist that happens in the end of this volume I did see coming pretty much right from Volume 1, and I now believe I know who the murderer is and what their intentions were. So we'll see if I'm right when that eventually comes to light in the series, but it's very good. It's about this girl here now, and she used to work with her mother at this sweet shop when she was a child, and then her mother was accused of murdering this boy's father, and then she was imprisoned and now was sent to an orphanage, and then years later she receives a message from her mother, who has since died, saying that she's innocent, so now decides to return to this sweet shop and marry the heir in order to find out the truth of what actually happened to there and who actually killed the the master of the sweet shop. And it's very good. It's very good. I can't wait for the next volume. Next up I have Maternity Volume 6. I've also read this one. This volume kind of mostly focuses on this girl here, who is moving out of the boarding house. And it's a good volume. I enjoy Maternity. It's an age gap romance series about Miko, who, after moving out of her parents' place because her parents had to move away for work, she's now living in her uncle's boarding house with these 5 other people, and there she meets Matsunaga-san, who's like, I think, 11 years older than her, but she starts to like him and get to know him through living in this boarding house, and it's very good. Next I have A Sign of Affection Volume 2, which is also very good. This is about a deaf girl who, she's on the train one day and this foreigner comes up to her to ask her for directions, but obviously she can't hear him, but then this guy comes over and helps her out because he can speak like 5 different languages and he's very interested in languages. And he realises she's deaf and he wants to learn sign language from her, but she likes him, but we don't know whether he likes her back or whether he's just using her to achieve his dreams and to learn sign language and stuff like that. It's a good series. It's by the author of Shortcake Cake? Is it? Yeah, Shortcake Cake. I have not read Shortcake Cake. But there's this very nice 2-page spread in the middle here. Yeah, Sign of Affection's good. Next I have I Think Our Son is Gay, which is a new series just being released by Square Enix Manga. Square Enix is a video game company. They released stuff like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, and they've recently started making manga as well. And this is it's an episodic manga with very short chapters about this mother who finds out that her son is gay, and she wants to support him, but he wants to keep it a secret, so she's trying to, he keeps slipping up and accidentally letting it out, but she's pretending she's didn't hear or not understanding what's happening because he doesn't actually want her to find out, so she's trying to pretend that she doesn't know, and it's just a very good manga. I enjoyed it. I do really recommend it. And last up, I have Dungey Eaters Love Sickness, which I have not read yet, but this is a short story collection which includes the 6 stories in the Love Sickness storyline, and then 2 stories from the Strange Ikazura sibling storyline, and then we have just some random ones as well. The Mansion of Fun and Pain, The Rib Woman, and Memories of Real Poop. Yes. Yeah, this is Dungey Eater stories. I enjoy Dungey Eater and I will enjoy reading this. I have seen the Beautiful Boy at the Crossroads in the anime collection that they did, so I do know that story. I'm still waiting for them to publish a short story collection that includes The Town of Many Ways, because I enjoyed that in the anime and I want to read the original short story, but it hasn't actually been published in one of these collections yet. But there's another couple coming out, I think, this year that it hopefully will be a part of. Yeah, that's Dungey Eater. Yes, it is. It's very much Dungey Eater. And that is it for this month's haul. As I say, I've got a bunch of BL on the way, but that hasn't arrived yet. So here we go. There's the recap of the 15 volumes, and this is a light novel of the month, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be back at some point for another video, whatever it will probably be, and yeah, bye. Bye.